Hey y'all, quick question. What in God's name is happening around here? How is every subsequent week in this country somehow worse than the one that came before it, which was the worst one that had ever happened? Like, what are we supposed to do? We just gotta stay strong, huh? I mean, hey, already 6 weeks down, so there's only 200 and some odd more to go. I am furious at math and reality right now. I feel like a Fox News papaw. But no, in just the past few days alone, this administration has firebombed a century's worth of diplomacy and ruined our global goodwill. And they've triggered a stock market crash and an economic panic. Like, it should not be possible to be this good at being this bad at your job. Like, at some point you'd think they'd screw up the process of screwing everything up, but no, they're like the Henry Ford of ruining shit, just developing whole new methods of efficiency. Right? Also, they love Nazis a whole lot. Let's see what we got. The start of our shiny new trade war with Canada and Mexico is today, which we're doing that because fentanyl is bad. I get, yeah, fentanyl's bad. I know. I grew up in the rural South during the opioid epidemic, right? And most experts now agree that a major factor with that was that it first took root in economically depressed communities filled with desperate and hopeless people. So I'm not entirely sure that we should be addressing the new super opioid epidemic by purposefully economically depressing communities and having them be filled with hopeless and desperate people. It feels a little counterintuitive to me, but what the hell do I know? Now, the official slogan of this administration should be, I knew it would be bad, but Jesus Christ, right? Like that meeting on Friday with Zelensky, which it wasn't so bad until noted round-faced cushion porker J.D. Vance had to speak up, and then it went completely off the rails, just absolutely derailed decades of geopolitics in one fell swoop. It was an absolute disaster, and yet many people on MAGA side are celebrating it. How do you can say whatever you want about American foreign policy, but one thing that always went without question was that we love us some democracy, right? Democracy and oil, baby. That's two things we'll do anything for. It don't matter who's in the White House, right? But now we're just a few short years into the most clear-cut democracy versus dictator, good versus evil war since WW2, and millions of our fellow Americans are like, hey, you know who's on the right side of that whole Russia thing? North Korea. We should be more like North Korea here, really? You want to side with the Russians and the North Koreans? You mean the villains from every patriotic action movie made in the past 60 years? How did 8 years-ish of Newsmax and Trump tweets undo an entire Cold War? Like, what the... I don't know what's happening. What would Rocky Balboa say, y'all? I ask you that. It's I just feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Man, we're having to sit here and watch this administration purposefully tank our own economy and just wreak havoc on the global stage. There's nothing you could do about it. It's insane. I'm thinking things I never thought I'd think before. Like, growing up, I always thought, like, man, if World War III ever happens, I just hope we all make it through okay. I never thought I'd find myself thinking, man, if World War III ever happens, I just hope that America and the rest of the new Axis powers lose the fucking thing. God help us all. All right. One of the worst parts about all of this is the media coverage of it all. The way things are sane washed. It depends on the source as far as how they're going to talk about it and how honest they're going to be. And let me show you what I mean by that. Hey, y'all, we're here on Ground News' website looking at the stories about Zelensky saying his Oval Office spat with Trump was, quote, regrettable, and he's ready to work for peace. You can see the coverage breakdown here, 175 sources, pretty evenly split between left and right. Most of them are in the center. If you use down here, you use Ground News to sort by bias, and we looked at left-leaning outlets to see how they're spinning this story. It says, Zelensky calls the debacle regrettable, outlines steps to peace, quote, time to make things right. Zelensky regrets it. Down here, you can see Zelensky bows to American conditions. You can see some of the left's opinions seeping through there. They're outlining the reasonability of Zelensky and the difficulty of his situation. But if you look at outlets on the right, instead, it's a little different. Zelensky expresses regret, says he's ready to negotiate. Thanks, Trump. Thank you, Trump. Zelensky extends olive branch to Trump, says Ukraine is ready for peace. So, you can see here how they're kind of dunking on him a little bit, as they are wont to do. If you notice on Ground News, before you ever click a headline, you get all this extra information. You can see the bias of the outlet. You can see the factuality rating, got a mixed rating for Breitbart. It's generous. You also see where the money comes from, the ownership groups, right? You just get more layers of context than you get from anywhere else. That's why I like Ground News. I've been working with them for more than a year now. They add that extra context to your media consumption. So you can scan that QR code or go to ground.news/Trey for more information. They got a lot of features on Ground News, though. Here's my favorite, probably the blind spot feature. This shows you articles that are not being covered on either side of the political spectrum right now, so you can see what they're not talking about, perhaps trying to ignore on the right or the left. It helps you peek outside of your own bubble
every now and then, which is all too important in the times we live in.
So if that sounds good to you, scan that QR code there, click the link in the description below to get 40% off the highest tiered unlimited access Vantage plan, or you can try Ground News for free. Either way, never been more important. Push back on the bias and BS. Get some context and transparency in your life. Check out Ground News today. All right, YouTube, man, we're back. Yeah, you know, that JD, well, I don't even know what the hell JD was doing in that meeting. There's no need for him to be there. There's no need for him to be anywhere. Doesn't he realize that the real president is Musk and the real meat in the room is Trump? We don't need double meat in the room doing nothing, right? And I guess he realized that. That's why he had to speak up. He got tired. He got jealous of the spotlight being on Trump and Musk for all their dumbassery, and he saw an opportunity on the global stage to jump in and be like, oh, no, look, I also possess a unique talent for disastrous idiocy. No, look, hey, I can self-immolate. I can be dumb. Look at me, I can fuck things up. See, aren't you proud of me, Daddy? Aren't you all proud of me? That's what he had to do. But it's, I don't know how Zelensky held it together as well as he even did. And it was so insulting. I don't know, like the fact that he didn't bitch slap Trump makes him a better man than I'll ever be, you know, and most of us. At one point, Trump implied that he was too mean to Vladimir Putin. I mean, imagine you're like in a dark alley and you get attacked by some dude with a knife, and while he's actively stabbing you, the cops show up and you're like, hey, get this asshole off of me. And they're like, whoa, name calling. That's a little uncalled for, don't you think? No reason to be rude here, sir. It's like, listen, also, if you just let him finish, this whole thing will be over with soon. It's like, okay, but I'll be dead. Like, well, that still counts as being over. So do you want it to be over or not? Right? You'd be pretty pissed off at the cops in that scenario, and that's how we're treating Zelensky in Ukraine and this deal with them in Russia, and it's absolutely infuriating. And it's also happening, it's like if we didn't have to be fucking up a real life war, we're also starting a brand new money war, trade war with our allies. We're like siding with our enemies and pissing our allies off left and right, and everything's just snowballing into a absolute avalanche of shit. But we got the new trade war because, and all these people that spent 4 years acting like the strongest Western economy post-COVID was still nowhere near good enough for them, and the inflation we had was completely inexcusable. All those same people are now justifying paying more for everything because what? Because like Melania made googly eyes at Trudeau once. Why are we doing this to Canada? And it's like when they say, well, we got to punish these countries economically for letting fentanyl come into America. And it's like, we got to have tariffs because fentanyl is bad. It's like a fucking crazy leftist saying we need to have mandatory abortions because gun violence is bad. It's like, okay, I agree with you on that second thing, but how do those two, that don't even make any fucking, how is this going, what are you talking about? How is that going to do that, right? I don't think that the governments of any of these countries have some like fentanyl lever that they can pull and turn it. They're like, we better turn it to off. They figured us out. They've got the tariffs on us. Also, Canada, dude, Canada, what's it? You can't, starting a trade war with Canada over fentanyl would be like fucking invading Iraq over 9/11. Well, never mind. We got it, you know. Bad example, good example, however you want to look at it. Still, it's dumb, it's bad, it's terrible. And also, and I cannot stress this part enough, we're not economically punishing these countries, we're economically punishing ourselves. It's just going to make things worse for us, all of us. It's going to make every day harder for every American for a reason I can't even wrap my head around. But it's like walking up to a drug dealer in your neighborhood and threatening to punch yourself in the balls if he doesn't get out of town. And he's like, well, I don't understand how that would. But okay, whatever. Also, I'm an accountant. I'm not a drug dealer. What are you talking about? That's us with this trade war and justifying it on fentanyl reasons. Nothing makes sense. I'm not sure. I'm beginning to doubt that anything will ever make sense again. But, you know, I'll still be here trying to make sense of it, or at the very least ranting and raving about the inability to do so. So thank you guys for accompanying me on this this journey that we're all on right here. And listen, I'll put my stuff up here as my special still. Gonna have a new one very, 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 very soon. And also, you can subscribe to the channel. You get all these videos and my podcast and other fun things I do from time to time. And the important one to me, TreyCrowder.com. That's my website where I have dates, where I do stand-up comedy. That's what I really do. If I'm coming near you, come see me in person, live. If you like these things, you'll like that thing. It's fun. I promise you. We can all commiserate and forget together. It's a good time either way. If you just keep watching these silly things, I'll keep making them. I love you like chicken. See you. Bye.